My name is Christian Devivo. I am the Next Gen Video Coordinator for Thomas Road Baptist Church. So I do video stuff for kids, middle school, high school, and college ministry here at Thomas Road Baptist Church. I went to a school for my freshman year up in Boston at Boston Baptist College, and then after a year I transferred down to Liberty University. My mother was a Christian, my dad is not a Christian. My mom, she did pass away a couple years ago from breast cancer, but she would always drag us to church every Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We were always at church. And so in elementary school, I kind of hated it. I didn't like going because I didn't want to wake up on a Sunday morning when all my friends weren't. But then as I got older in middle school and high school, and especially definitely now, I appreciated that my mother, even though we didn't want to go, we'd put up a fight, she still would drag us to church, because I definitely, looking back on it, there's a lot of bad stuff that could have happened to me, but thankfully my mother cared enough about my spiritual soul that she, drug us to church all the time. So yeah, it's actually been interesting. Since my mother would always drag us to church, my dad never came. And so there's always been that conflict of whenever my mom wanted to give money to different missionaries or to different things with the church, my dad would always get kind of frustrated and flustered, because he believes in like the idea of God, but he doesn't like the church. And so that's still his attitude today. And it was always a religion and church was always a sensitive subject in the house. There was arguments over it all the time. And I still, my dad every so often will say to me, when are you going to get a real job? Because he just does not at all think like anything in the church world is like valid. Yeah, so when I was in middle school, I went to a winter retreat back in 2002, and it was out in Pennsylvania. I went on a winter retreat with our church, our youth group, and a couple of other churches, and we had the speaker there, and that was when the speaker just really broke down, and he shared his story of how he was on the verge of committing suicide and very depressed. And at the time in my household, I was very depressed with my family's situation, because there were always arguments and fights going on, because mainly my older brother was just getting into a lot of stuff he shouldn't have been getting into. And there's just every night there was just always an argument, always fighting, always shouting. And it got to the point where I hated it. I didn't want to be home. I just hated my living situation. And then at the camp, the guy speaking talked about his situation and everything, and just how he came to Jesus and how Jesus changed everything. And that was the moment where I was like, you know what? I've been just trying to do things my way, and I need to just give it all to God and give him my situation, give him my family, give him how I'm feeling. And after that was when I really started to dive into God's Word and really read it, and took my relationship with him seriously.